Hi friends, and welcome back to the Macrear Music channel. Today we are going to talk about the Roland SP-555, but before we do that, I need to tell you about this video's sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is an easy-to-use, budget-friendly host of services for musicians to help you get your music published. They can get you on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, you name it. And they've recently added a new feature called Splits. Pretty much since the dawn of time, music has been about collaboration. And DistroKid has launched a service to help you with that. So they have a tool that allows you to easily pay your collaborators without having to hire an accountant. With Splits by DistroKid, you can add unlimited collaborators to any track, you can change the splits at any time, you can add or remove collaborators anytime, you can go back in time and see any previous splits. For privacy, collaborators can only see that percentage that they get. If your collaborators don't already have a DistroKid account, they'll be able to create one for just $10. Your release won't be delayed if your collaborators is slow to sign up. If your collaborator never joins, you can easily cancel their invite and reallocate their funds elsewhere. Using splits, artists can set up recoupments for any individual collaborator on a split. As always, DistroKid never takes any cut, and you and your collaborators get 100% of earnings. For more information, see my link in the description of this video. Also, if you have not signed up for DistroKid, use the link that I have below. You'll get a discount and it helps me too.
And now, the Roland SP-555.
The Roland SP-555, released in 2008, was the successor to the immensely popular SP-404. Like the 404, it features a plastic body with metal faceplate, a round numeric display, and a familiar layout of sampling functions and banks. Unlike the 404, it features 16 pads, an expanded effects section, a looper, a D-beam, and an XLR mic input, but more on those in a bit. The back panel reveals the DC in, USB, full-size MIDI in and out, a foot pedal, stereo RCAs for input and output. The front panel supports your headphone jack and compact flash drive. The weight of the unit comes in just shy of 4 pounds and does not support battery power. Okay, so I'm going to do like I have in other videos and just give you an overview of this device. Again, these are not tutorials, just kind of my thoughts and impressions, so if you're considering them, you can make an informed decision. As other videos as well, I'm going to focus on what makes this machine different rather than what makes it the same as other SPs in the range, because they all sort of have their own little thing going on. They all seem to have their own unique features that the others don't. This one is no exception, so we're going to talk about those things. But real quick, here is obviously its most similar comparator, the SP-404, mine's an SX. You can see basically the layout of the pads, the main sampling functions, this dial, or I don't know what I guess that's a numeric dial display, I don't know. All those things are kind of similar, you know, the knobs, that kind of stuff. So obviously, very obviously, this thing was designed based on that SP-404Q, and in many ways it's kind of just an SP-404 on steroids. With that being said, I'll give you a quick overview of the layout. Here is the functions for your sampling. You can go into sample mode there. You can adjust the type of sampling that it is from lo-fi to stereo. You can play them in different ways like loop, gate, reverse, all that kind of stuff. It's also where you would get to your delete functions, that kind of thing. Also, some of these cancel and a button are often how you get to shortcuts. Like by pushing cancel and sampling, I can get to the threshold level. Things like that. So you kind of have to just play around with that. One thing that's interesting is you can adjust the velocity on this one with the single button here. This device also features V-Link, which is an older Roland technology that's not really used anymore, but it used to appear on practically all their stuff from this era. 2008, I think, so like the late aughts in this case. You've got a roll button here, which is cool. Here's your hold pad, your sub pad. Again, these things are similar to the 404. Even the 303 has some of this stuff too. So all this side over here is basically like your 404. It's even practically the same size. Over here, this is where everything gets a little bit different. Number one, as I mentioned, you've got a mic source here on the top for XLR mics. It's got phantom power built into it, which is really cool. You can use condenser mics, that kind of thing. You've got independent levels for mic and line in right here. Here's your main volume. You've got a metronome. And you can just turn that on with the push-a-button, and it will stay on while you're sampling, which is really cool. That helps you lay in samples that will match to the tempo of the beat that you're trying to make. So that's something that's kind of different from the 404 right there. Moving on down, you have this effects section. Some of these effects are on other units, some of them are not. Some of the effects are on others, but they expand the concepts on this one. And in addition to the effects, you have multiple banks with, 16 effects per bank, so a total of 32. And many of these have lots of different types of that effect inside the single one. So let's see, let's go to A5. You can see it says A1 right there, which is flanger for now, but I'm going to go to A5, which is reverb. And as I go through this dial, you'll see this change. These are all different types of reverb. You've got studio reverbs, hall reverb, room reverbs, a couple different types of each one, and then you've got the time and the balance associated with each. So that's an example of where a single effect actually has multiple effects underneath it. The lo-fi compressor, let's go to B5. This is one of my favorite effects. Similar, there's a whole bunch of different, type, yeah. So as you're playing a sound and you go through type, you can hear that lo-fi compressor affect things in a different way. We're going to hear stuff in a second. I'm just showing you the overview now. Then, finally, loop capture. This is probably the most unique feature of the SP-555, excuse me, not 505. We did that already. And this is something that really makes this one a standout. So one thing that's great about this is you can set the loop capture to a specific metronome, whatever BPM that is, and you can sample in a loop that is that same tempo, and it will capture that loop and kind of snap it to that however long you set it to, 3, 4 bars. So it makes sampling things to a specific tempo much easier. And once you've got it in a loop, then you can bounce it to one of these pads, add it to the pattern sequencer and all of that kind of stuff. So really, really nice feature to add the loop. And then finally, you've got D-Beam. Filter is always my favorite thing to use D-Beam on. It's got a synth too. Probably useful for little snippets, maybe if you need to get bass or something. It's just that one type of synth as far as I know. You may be able to change it. I haven't really looked into it. Yeah, so you've got D-Beam stuff on this one as well. Yeah, what else can I tell you? Oh, the storage is done on compact flash. It's not as fast as SD cards, but it's a heck of a lot faster than the smart media that the 202, 303, 505 use. Those things are slow. This is a quicker storage medium for sure. It also comes in larger sizes if that's important to you. You can go up to, I think, a couple gigs maybe on this. So you can have quite a bit of storage. A whole bunch of different banks here. I think, what is that? 1, 2, 6. Let's see, and these are doubled, so that's 8, that's 2. So you've got 10 different banks of samples with 16 pads for each bank. That's quite a lot that you can work with. So yeah, it's a nice made device. Feels solid. As I said, it weighs about 4 pounds, so it has a nice heft in your hands. It feels good. You feel like you can bang on the pads without breaking it, which is a good thing in a sampler. So yeah, let's show you some of the functionalities here so you have an idea of how that works. Brought my trusty OPZ here, and we're going to capture a loop. So let's see. Okay, I'm glad that happened. That is one drawback of the looper, is it does not always seem to sync just right, especially with beats, this kind of thing. Now, if I took all the rhythmic elements out of this, let's see, let me take this down to just the bass and the lead, and I'm gonna delete that sucker. It deletes just like it would on a pad. All right, let's try again just with melodic elements and see if we can get a better recording here. Now I'm gonna try to start this source right at the same time. 3. Let's see if it stops when it's supposed to. That's the sampler. It's no longer the source for my OPZ. It's actually this. Okay, and it did it. Yep. So that's one drawback about the looper, is that the ending, the loop point, is not always as clean as you might like. So what I've managed to do often is save it to a pad, and it's doing it now. It's recording it. Give that a second. Okay, and I'm gonna do the old reverse and trim trick. So let's try to check the end. Let's just take a little bit off and let's see what it does now. Yep, that's better. Okay, so the looper is really handy, although not perfect. You kind of have to tweak it a little bit after the fact to get a perfect loop. Generally speaking, though, I take those loops and then tie them to the pattern sequencer anyway, so that the start of the loop always comes in on the first beat of the bar that I want it to. So little tricks like that, you can get around this kind of stuff. Now that we have a loop, though, I'm going to show you some of the effects that I like. We're going to hit remain on that guy. Let's find an effect. Let me show you lo-fi compression because I really do like it. Turn it on. I mean, immediately that just sounds cool. I'll show you the different types. Okay, I can see that's clipping on my DAW a little bit, so I'll chill on that a bit, but it just adds such a nice full crunch to things. Let's try another one. Gosh, I suppose we should probably hear the vinyl sim, because who are we kidding? We all love that. There's a little bit of noise on this one. Crunchy. All right, now turn up the flutter. I mean, that's nice. That is nice. Okay, let's look at, where is it? I always like to hear the chorus on these two, so that's an A7. Very cool. It's very cool. Let's see, a couple more I think that folks might want to know about. Oh, I'll go ahead and tell you the pitch on this one sucks too. It's just like the 404 and some of the others. It's not like the 202 pitch. You know, I guess we might as well hear it just so you can confirm that for yourself. But hear how it breaks it all apart. Good for making stuff weird. Bit crash, let's hear that one. That's always cool. I love how that's just shortcuts to all of them as well. That's a great effect. What is the other one? Filter and drive. That's one that I myself find myself using a lot. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah. That's kind of it. We've talked about the D-beam, we've talked about the different effects, and we've talked about the loop. Mostly everything else is the same as the others. So I'm not going to get into the pattern sequencer. There's some great tutorials out there if you want to learn how to use the pattern sequencer. I can provide some links if you're interested. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's kind of it for today on the SP-555. I've done another video on this unit already, so if you need more content, I'll put a link to that one or one of those shortcut things up here in the corner so you can get to it quickly. So let me know if you have questions. Let me know if there's something that you would like me to expand on that we touched on today. I can maybe make another video down the road after I get through this whole series. I'm almost done. The SP-404 is next, and it's the last one I'm doing because it's the newest device that I own in the range. I've been kind of going in chronological order. So, SP-555, that's an overview of what makes it unique in the range. Let me know if you have questions. If you want to see more of these, subscribe to the channel. And just as a parting thought, I do want to mention that I really do believe in the DistroKid thing that I talked about at the beginning. I've been using their service for years. It's easy, it's cost effective. And when they asked to sponsor me, I was like, absolutely, because I already believe in what they do. So again, if you're interested in getting your music out there, check out my link. You get a discount and it helps me too. I don't monetize this channel. I don't have ads. So little things like that do help me keep it going. Yeah, that's about it. I guess now we just need to play some beats, I guess. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I will see you again next time.
That last few minutes might have been a little confusing. You'd like to know who I was talking to, wouldn't you? I'll tell you what she looks like. You might find it interesting. She's beautiful, but rather cool. She always wears a white shirt. She's got a good figure, but in a calm sort of way.
Bye.